Hello everyone, it is Alec Conservative Coin Collector. Welcome back to my channel. Recently, I showed you a couple of silvers I scored out of my Coinstar. Not mine specifically, but the local Coinstar where I work. I want to show you a couple of more coins that I didn't necessarily score out of the Coinstar, but I have a couple more you should look for that, especially this one. This is the 2022 Philadelphia Maya Angelou quarter. Now, she's part of the Women Quarters program that's currently going on. And they've been in circulation for a couple of years. And if you find one in circulated condition, they can still go for between 30 and 40 cents. But I found this back when the 2022s were brand new, uncirculated, never touched. And one in brilliant uncirculated condition could be worth around $3 to $6. So that's why you see $6 on there. That's just the highest it can go. I have not, as you can see, it's just in a regular paper flap. It's not gotten tested by PCGS. And it's not worth the money, the time or the effort to get something like this tested. But this is definitely worth between $3 to $6 because of how uncirculated it is. And granted, 2022 was only 3 years ago, so it is still possible to find 2022s in uncirculated condition like this. I have found not uncirculated, but red wheat pennies before that are beautiful, so it is possible. You can still find it. Another coin that I have, this is a 1927 Standing Liberty quarter. This is what the quarter looked like before George Washington was on it. The Standing Liberty quarter, it's definitely going to be rare to find it if you are just out there in the wild. But take a look at it compared to the George Washington quarter. Definitely, George Washington deserves to be on it. He's been on it for 90 years. But if you quarter hunt quarters, you definitely find one, but it takes time. And this one's about 10 years too new for it. But back in 1916 and 1917, there was a Standing Liberty quarter with its breast exposed. So yes, Liberty was nude on our quarters. We had a quarter with nudity on it, and that's probably one of the funniest parts of coin history I think I've ever seen her ever. It would be interesting to go back in time if I had a time machine and go back to 1916 and 1917 and see what the people's reactions were. Now to change paces and go a little less valuable than a quarter is the penny. Or what I should consider calling it is the cent. If there's one thing you need to know, America never had a penny. That is a British thing. They are called cents. US cent. I've used them interchangeably for a quarter of a century because I didn't know any better. I should just call them cents, not pennies, because that's what they're actually called. Okay, tangent over. But this one, I didn't find. A fellow numismatist who has since retired found it, and I actually bought it off of him. I bought like pretty much all his collection, and I actually have videos on that from back a couple of years ago. But it's a 1941 DD double die adverse, or DDO. It's an error, and it's FS101, and it's about $45. $45 for a single cent, which is like absolutely mind-boggling. Now I have to find, maybe not some as impressive, but I definitely have some cooler coins in here to show you. Not really worth all that much, just about 50 cents, but it's a 1969D, and it's got a couple errors. This is back of it. Apparently it used to hold a wheat penny 1945S, but it doesn't anymore. We got this one And over here we have 1998 many errors. Verifying condition. It says 7/26/2020. That's 7 through 2020. My retired coin collector friend, who, when I say retired, I am actually like 6 years older than him, but you know, he went back to high school. Now he graduated high school, and now he's doing bigger and better things. I'm still doing bigger and better things, but I'm sticking with it. This is when he first got into it in 2020, probably to keep him sane during COVID. And actually, I have always been fascinated when it comes to coins. I used to have a giant bucket of pennies I would play with. But it wasn't until 2019 I kind of started getting into it. And around COVID is when I got into it. It kept me sane. I started learning what, the mint marks were. I started learning coins that were made of silver, pennies that were made of copper. And one of the first projects I did was I separated copper pennies from clad pennies. And all these years later, the only copper pennies I have left are my wheat pennies. And that's because a lot of them are worth more than 1 cent. A lot of them are worth just face value, but you can definitely get 2 or 3 cents out of a few of them. Which, to be fair, if you would spend 2 cents on a penny, that's a 100% markup, so you're winning in the end. Now I gotta find another cool coin in here. The last thing I just wanted to share was it's not really legal tender, but it's silver. I think I got this at Christmas. Yes, think I got this 1 troy ounce of silver at Christmas. A couple weeks before, my brother met up with a friend who lives in Texas. They met on Xbox, and they both went to New York City for the very first time. It's funny, my brother ended up living here with me, and we're about 6 or 7 hours from New York City. We're used to the cold and the snow and the blowing. His friend from Texas, he was not. Here, a 20-degree day and 2 feet of snow is just a normal day. Add 30-mile-an-hour winds, your boss is like, "You're still coming in today, right?" Versus in Texas, when they get 2 inches of snow, it's like they close everything down. It was definitely a culture shock for my brother's friend who lives in Texas. I'm not editing these out, but you can definitely hear I have hiccups. They just came out of nowhere. Apologies in advance.